Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone, and to include those that are of the bishops, the elder bishops that taught right along with them, and all the way down to the brethren within the rank and file, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Brakathum, as well as we all believe from top to bottom of the church that we're involved in, is that we're of the hopeful elect, whom this ministry is only for anyway. So I want to just jump right into this news, which is from the rudebegets.com, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So as this reads, Elon Musk Neuralink launches mind control chip trials in the UK. Paralyzed patients become human guinea pigs in this shocking experiment. Neuralink, the groundbreaking brain implant company founded by Elon Musk, has launched its first European clinical trial in the UK, aiming to empower individuals with severe paralysis to control digital devices using only their thoughts. And I have to read the book of Revelations 13 and verse 14, and then look up this word, which is Semion, if I'm pronouncing that correctly when I press the Greek. So as this reads, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. And that's what they're doing. They're formulating these implantable devices, and while they're at it, they're forwarding and transitioning the world from one way to the new world order way, which had the wound by a sword and did live, which is Rome, because Rome was wounded after 1,000 years, and then this system came back, beginning with the Borgia family and Cristobal Colon and that whole motley crew that brought the system back. So let's look up this word, miracles. So the word is Semion, right? I think I'm correct. Yeah, I'm correct. Semion.
Strong's G 4592. Semion. Semion.
And I'm going to just get right to the point with this. Biblical usage number 2, which is in a context, a sign, prodigy, portent, i.e. an unusual occurrence, transcending the common course of nature. Like case in point, having paraplegic or paralyzed people to be active on the internet. Another case in point, a man that was driving a NASCAR on oval looked to be, could have been probably one of the tribes of the Northern Kingdom. So they had him on the oval driving a NASCAR, and he was turning his head. So when he would turn his head, he would turn the front wheel of the car, therefore turning the car. So that's a miracle. And then you got people that were blinded for years, born blind, and they were able to see because they implanted a neural chip inside of their brain. Or you could take someone that was paralyzed for 20 years, as I'm going to show you right now. This woman over here, she was paralyzed for the last 20 years. Her name is Audrey Cruz. And she was able to draw just by her thoughts, by using her mind on the computer. So let's play a little bit of this video over here. So there goes your left-hand side power. Once again, they was able to what? Deceive the world by the means of those miracles. Because the power that they're coming with is the power of Shaitan. That's who gives them their power. So now let me read this as well. This is the book of Luke 16 and verse 8. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. And who are the children of light? Us Israelites. Now, as it was written in the book of Isaiah, it says that the Lord, as he said to among his people, that they were Sodom's children, which goes back to one of the curses in the book of Deuteronomy 28, that we would have what? An astonishment of heart. Now, when you look up that word astonishment of heart, matter of fact, let me go and do that right now. Deuteronomy 28. And let's find that precept. And I want to show you something. So let's go down over here. Yeah, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And that's why you got a lot of jakes that can't see this truth, because the Lord has smitten them with blindness. Isaiah 69 comes to mind. And so let's look up this word, and astonishment of heart. Yeah, which would be Tamawan, Tamahawan, something along those lines. Tamahawan, which means astonishment, bewilderment, stupefaction, which that's where you get the word stupid from. So that would be one of the curses. And that's why Isaiah said what he said, right? Which really was the Lord that spoke through him. And he said that, look, for my people are found Sodom's children. And that still applies to this day, because you got a lot of dumb, stupid-minded, stupefied Negroes out here. And all of the tribes, really. So that's why when you go back to the book of Luke 16, in verse 8, let's read this again. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely, for the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. So right now, where it concerns wisdom, Esau got the upper hand. The majority of Jake don't know what the fuck's going on. And we have the upper hand. We're actually wiser than Esau because we know both sides of the spectrum on everything. All right. So we ain't all stupid, because you have the election, which were called to this wisdom and this understanding, and we're waxing wise. So wise beyond our teachers that have taught us in the world. All right. As that's written, that we would find out that our teachers are nothing more than liars. Let me see if I could pull that scripture out. Right. Yeah, Deuteronomy 32 and verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is likened unto thee, O people saved by the Lord Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. Right, because you were taught of the enemy, went to their schools and everything. And now we're finding out everything that they taught us was a bunch of lies. So we've become wiser than our enemies. And that's only a select few of us. That ain't every Israelite man, woman, and child, because the majority of them don't really know what's going on. Like I said, they don't know shit. And that's why you had a jackass such as Dwayne, which said what he said. Talking about, oh yeah, Grape Millstone, you guys are a bunch of grumpy ass niggas. Something along those lines. Yeah, so this is the book of Ezekiel 38. Excuse me, not 38. The book of Ezekiel 28 and verse 1. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, sing unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, which this represents Esau, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am the Most High, I sit in the seat of the Most High, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not the Most High, though thou set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. which is very reminiscent of what the Apostle Paul said in the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And let me go pull that out real quick. Yeah, 2 Thessalonians. And what we talking? What, 2 in verse 8? I think it's verse 7. Yeah, it's verse 4. I was right. Okay, the first time I was right. I should have went with my first thought. Yeah, so as this reads, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, and so that he is as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And there's no other nation that has a way of a lofty view of himself than the nation of Edom, or of themselves, than that nation of Edom. And yes, many nations had their moments of being proud, but these devils are the most proud. And I mean, to a degree, they would be, because look how much they've accomplished. As it looks like they've accomplished way above and beyond, technologically wise. But with that great pride, they're going to be brought down the same way. As well as we know that the Lord is a just power. And the Lord has a way of exacting judgment due to pride. Yeah, so let me read verse 3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, and there is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. And by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased. Thy riches and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Right, because riches represents slaves. It can also represent owning precious resources such as what I just read, gold and silver, platinum. They even have expensive gemstones in their vaults. The best of everything that they got. They own a vast majority of land, which that even goes into the prophecy of the blessing of Esau, that he would have the fatness of the earth. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness, and they shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the death of them that are slain in the midst of the season. Will thou yet say before him that slave thee, I am the Most High? But thou shalt be a man, and no power in the hand of him that slave thee. Thou shalt die the death of, so that's going into something else. So what this also reminds me of as well is Isaiah 47, and if I'm correct, verse 1, where it mentions, sit down on the ground at the dust, O Babylon, because that's where they're going to end up. America, as well as what you know it to be. When you see its buildings and its obelisks in certain key areas, right? All of that is going to be brought down to the dust, and to include the people that rule it. It's going to be to nothing. Isaiah 13 actually elaborates who's going to be inhabiting that land next. Yes, it's going to be desert creatures, because that's all it's going to end up being in the very end of the deal, is a desert. And that's because of pride. All right. So the Lord is going to make a grand example out of this devil. So yes, he has the technological power. Yes, he has the spiritual power on the left hand side working with him. But there's a limitation to that. And he's going to reach to his limit. Once he reaches to that limit, his apex, he's going the fuck down. There ain't no infinity and beyond. None of that bullshit. All it's going to be is that he's going to get this implantable device made mandatory. And that's going to be the mark of the beast being fulfilled. John the Revelator's prophecy being fulfilled. And this man is going down. And he's going to go into slavery next. So that's all I got to say. So with that, I want to say shalom.